So in this video I would like to focus on why is it that a lot of adult survivors of narcissistic mothers really struggle to feel comfortable in relationships with others so many years after growing up even with her. But it really isn't so strange. Let's focus on the relationship to why it is like that for many people. My name is Åse Wegerif, and I'm a survivor myself of a narcissistic mother, and I've gone the whole journey into therapy, and then I've worked clinically with people myself and trained, and I'm a registered counselor, and I now have worked for many years with helping others in this situation to live a good life and to find themselves. And if you want to work with me, you can. There is an email on my YouTube where you can contact me. I work worldwide one-on-one. But let's get to it. So why would it be so hard to feel comfortable around other people? The thing is, your mother is the first relationship in your life. And instead of having a mother who was an emotional support for you, supporting you in getting a healthy relationship with yourself, feeling good about yourself, you've had the opposite. You've had someone who is very, very, even for an adult, really difficult to be around, and someone who is highly dysfunctional and toxic in her relationship. So you've had a lot of pain of disappointments, messages about yourself. You learned about yourself things like I'm not good enough, and I can't be loved, and I've got nothing to offer, and others don't like me, and others abuse me, and that is my own fault, and so on. You've learned this because a child always thinks that it's got something to do with them, and if no one corrects that, then that is how you end up developing with those kind of limiting beliefs. And you also learn that you can't really trust your mother, you can't really trust other people, you can't really trust that things would be good for you. So it's really easy to see that this is the map that you have unconsciously when you form relationships later on, and that is why it's so important to actually speak the truth about your experience, so that you can relate to your own story and your own situation and see it for what it really was, because that can shift the way you feel about yourself into a healthier place, so that you can form healthier relationships. So what also happens very often then is that people, if you've felt so insecure, if you've been so badly emotionally abused and otherwise as well, potentially, if you've been so insecure, when you get to school, when you get to meet other kids, it's very hard to feel confident. It's very hard to just play, explore. There's always that pain that you carry, so it affects your relationships as you grow up. And it's really many children are those kind of children who prefer actually the company of adults, because they don't know how to play anymore. They aren't free. They aren't able to tap into that kind of being a child because of the experience that they have, of the pain that they have. So lots of kids end up struggling with this, and as we know, other kids can be really cruel, and they can be really pick up on this, and potentially that you are excluded or bullied and so on. So relationships can become really difficult. And also, like when you've had a relationship dynamic pattern where you have learned, not that you've learned it as such, but you've experienced that love, which should be love, which isn't love, but your mother's love, the way you the experience that you have, that it isn't pure love, that it comes with a lot of pain. That sort of relationship mold that you've grown up in is also a map that you have unconsciously, which means that instead of other people who haven't had this, who would react if they are, for example, having a boyfriend, girlfriend, they would react on it like, why are you treating me this way? You're hurting me. Stop. I don't want this. Then you're not set up for that, because you're set up to please her, to go against yourself, and that it's normal that you have this pain mixed with love. So you're not in a place where you've ever experienced that this is wrong and that there are some boundaries here. So then you're very vulnerable to this kind of relationship abuse and pain moving forward. So these are reasons why it's really hard to be in relationships, because if you're in painful relationships, of course you're gonna want to be away from them and to protect yourself. And also you probably also miss and lack the experience of being in a relationship where you're actually valued for real, where you're actually seen for real, where it's okay that you are in pain and you're still cared about, where you can say what you really feel if you can find it in yourself. Or at least we come into the relationship with our true self through relationship. So when you haven't had that, it's really, really valuable to have someone else who can really, that's part of what I do as a therapist, really see the other person and help them connect to themselves. So these are reasons why it's just really understandable that you don't feel comfortable in relationships when you're an adult. So even if it's decades later on, this is still with you, and you need to have someone who knows about this and who can support you in seeing how this is playing out in your life situation right now, and to see how you can begin to learn what a healthy relationship is like, and how you can step more into that and release some of the problematic things, and like really see the problems that you're in relationally. And often as well, there's something about the relationship you have to yourself is mirrored in terms of the relationships you experience coming to you. So there's also some work to be done inside on how you feel about yourself, and placing this in how you came to feel this way about yourself in terms of where it came from, which was your mother. So if you find this really helpful, and really this is what I do to help people, so if you really would love to learn more about this, please come and hang around with my email community and subscribe to my videos, because then and like or comment, because then we see each other again, and then you can get more of this that can actually help you to shift this all, because you learned it and you can unlearn it, and you can shift into a healthy way of being. I've done it, I've helped many people do it, and you can do it that as well. So all the best to you, and I hope to see you again, and take care. Bye bye.